Brendan, Maria, Alex, welcome again. How are you?
Doing great. Thank you. Happy Thursday.
Alm- Almost the end of Thursday. That's
Yeah.
good. Well, this is another episode of what happened this week. We always try to make this as quick as possible, so we're going to get to the points. There's just some weeks are a little slower than others, but this days there's just too much going on in the country. So we gather a few of the points that we felt was worth our time to basically bring them to you. Not that they're the only ones, but there's just a few. So let's start with the first one, and the first one will go to Maria. Eviction moratorium, Maria. If you can unmute your phone, your line, Maria. I think you have it unmute, if I'm not mistaken. And yes, go ahead.
Well, we got it.
Mm-hmm.
Eviction moratorium extended to September 30th of this year. And let's have the next bullet. So to find some financial assistance in your area, please visit the des.az.gov and /ERAP. So you also want to ask for assistance from your local community action program about the total amount of help available to you. So we also know that the new eviction ban only applies to counties that have high rates of COVID. So the COVID transmission. So keep aware of that. Thanks, David.
Perfect. And let's see. Again, there's been a lot of activity in Congress, and there's been recent legislation by the U.S. Senate. And this point goes to Brendan Blake. Good that we're not just talking or asking you to talk about the Olympics. I mean, sports. Oh, I'm not kidding you. Before we give you this point, Brendan, what is the Field of Dreams thing happening today? Real brief, please.
I actually don't know. I only saw that very recently. So, David, you might be the person to
You
tell
must
us
not
better.
be a baseball fan.
The
More of a basketball.
D-backs aren't great this year, so I haven't been paying attention too much.
Sorry, I don't think I can explain it well, but there is a movie, I believe, and there's a field called the Field of Dreams, and they're having the MLB having a game today at the Field of Dreams. So I think this is super special. If I'm not mistaken, this is the first time it's ever happened. But let's not get sidetracked. All right. So help us know what's going on with this recent legislation, Brendan.
Well, I feel bad because I feel like my niche has been on the show has been really torn apart here, that I don't have an answer for you. So, next time I'll come prepared for everything sports related.
I threw you a curve.
Yeah, you did. I swung and missed on that one. I will say, so it's been a really interesting week in the U.S. Congress, especially the U.S. Senate. We have had two packages that have been passed. And I'll start with the $3.5 trillion partisan package. Essentially, what has happened in the Congress is that, or in the Senate particularly, is that you have two separate packages that have been passed out of the Senate, or at least the process has been started. The first is the $1.2 trillion bipartisan package, which both of our senators, Sinema and Mark Kelly, voted for. And particularly Senator Sinema was a lead on that $1.2 trillion bipartisan package with a senator, I believe, Rob Portman from Ohio. And they worked together on this bipartisan bill to try to get some real traction within their own parties, as well as with the White House, to get them to agree. And this is the compromise that they came up with. I know that the president had signaled earlier in his term that he would have loved to see, a multi-trillion-dollar package on infrastructure, and started conversations with Republican leadership as well as Democrats to get something done. And it was really just the work of Senator Sinema and the group of, I believe they had 10 senators in that group that were able to come together, 5 Democrats, 5 Republicans, to get this deal done. And the deal that Sinema struck apparently with the Democrats is that they would not, in the House, they would not vote for this package unless it also was tied to the non-traditional infrastructure that the Democrats were hoping for. So this would be, child care. This would be, more money for long-term care facilities to pay their caregivers, things like that. What the Biden administration has called human infrastructure, whereas the $1.2 trillion package is traditional infrastructure. It is historic investments in broadband, in transportation, which are two key areas that AARP is very happy with. And in addition, we also see improvements to our airport roads, bridges, ports, things like that. What you think of when you think of infrastructure. And the $3.5 trillion package was done through a process called reconciliation, which is essentially a complicated process that you can pass something with only 50 votes. So for the Democrats, that means that they could do it without a single Republican vote, which they did. And it kind of leaves us in a weird position where we now have two infrastructure packages, one of which is bipartisan that does traditional infrastructure. The other one does non-traditional infrastructure, and was needed to get support in the House. So it's a tangled mess, I would say.
Right.
And I think that they're walking a fine line here about what actually will happen. So.
Thank you for that. And Alex, just before we move to your point, the next one, AARP, of course, we follow pretty much everything that goes on in Congress, but we particularly focus on those things that pertain to the people that we serve. Hello, of course, right? So in this packages, can you highlight once again what are at least a couple of areas that we value much at AARP?
Well, I think one of the most important ones for AARP and for our constituents would be the emergency broadband benefit. There's approximately, correct me if I'm wrong here, Brendan, but $65 billion included for broadband access. So making sure that the rural areas across the nation get that internet that is so needed. Today, the internet is not a luxury; it's a necessity. And we need it. We need school children need it, and older adults need it as well. So I think that's a big win.
Transportation eventually is going to get something, and I know that there's livable communities. Maria, I know you work in livable communities a lot. So we'll to be continuing this matters, especially those that pertain to the membership or our membership. So let us move on. Time is flying, like as always. And what we would like to cover now, that was yours too, Alex. Lawmakers making an ask of Governor Ducey. What is this ask all about?
Well, in here, there's some key lawmakers that are calling on Governor Ducey to withhold federal funding from districts who have mask mandates. And I mean, this is going to be a tough issue here. This comes as several school districts are defying a recent signed law that prohibits K through 12 schools from requiring students to become vaccinated or wear masks in the classrooms. So there's approximately 26 state representatives, senators, in particular from the GOP, that signed this letter. And the specific demands are basically saying withhold the federal funding from any school district not complying with state law, authorizing the empowerment scholarship accounts to be offered to students in non-compliant school districts, sending a notice to families reminding that the state has banned mask mandates, notifying them about the scholarship accounts and about alternative schooling options. And fourth, it would be initiate the legal actions against any school district defying state law. So I guess I'd like to ask, our viewers, what do you guys think?
And real quick, either Brendan or Alex, is it a doable thing? I mean, can the governor actually do that?
That's still being decided. I think there's some school districts around the nation that have defied their governors, and some judges across the nation have put some stop to the requirements from the governor's side, allowing the school districts to do that. I think what we need to do here, David, is really think what is the correct thing to do for our children. Do we keep them safe? How do we keep them safe?
Right. Thank you. And because of time, I'm going to go super fast. This is, again, I read, and we all read a lot in emails. I mean, the first part of the morning, we spend the reading emails and getting ourselves up to date. And several emails came my way, and I made this kind of list of positive and not so positive things regarding the state of the U.S. economy. Positive, the economy grew 6.5%. Job growth in July was 943,000, close to 1 million jobs, which is very positive. Unemployment at 5.4%, the lowest since the pandemic. The interest rates, as we know, are super low. The stock market is at an all-time high. Corporate profits, hello, setting records. Salary, I don't know if that one would have been positive or negative, but anyway, salaries and pay are rising. This would be considered the positive aspects of the U.S. economy. If you move to the right, the COVID cases are increasing, not so positive. Inflation is creeping in, not good. Government stimulus programs are ending, not good. Home prices and rents are increasing, not good. We will be reaching the debt ceiling soon, not good. Eviction moratorium and student loan forbearance are ending, and unemployment extra benefits are ending. So there you have it. If you, it's like a balance, right? And in spite of everything, there seems to be consensus that the U.S. citizens, the people of this country, feel optimistic that the economy is recovering. So good news. Well, if I want to thank each of you for joining today's What Happened This Week. Anything else for the good of the order?
That's it for the week, David.
Perfect. Well, there you have it to all our viewers, and please spread the word about these programs and join us next time. See you soon. Bye-bye.